Samsung fanboys are definitely gonna get triggered by this review. Oh. Hey guys, gizmoddict here, and this is my review of the Galaxy M31. So I've had this phone for quite some long time, and the M31 is basically a slightly improved version of the Galaxy M30s. I've already reviewed the M30s, you can watch the review here, but today I'm here to tell you why you probably shouldn't be buying the Galaxy M31. If you're a Samsung fanboy, please hear me out before you type all of those hate comments. There's actually a logical explanation as to why you probably shouldn't be picking the Galaxy M31. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with this review. And I'm gonna start it on a positive note. Let's talk about the good things about the Galaxy M31 first. So the first thing that I love on the Galaxy M31 is of course the display on this phone. I think this is one of the best displays that you can get on any phone under 20,000 rupees, or maybe even more than that, because the AMOLED panel that Samsung has used is beautiful. You can put it against any other phone like the Poco X2, Redmi Note 9 Pro, or any other phone that has an LCD panel, and hands down the display on the M31 is gonna beat all of that. The AMOLED display on this phone has really nice and punchy colors, deep blacks, the viewing angles are also great. It gets fairly bright, and watching movies and your TV shows is a very good experience on the Galaxy M31. Although this AMOLED display is not HDR certified, you have HDR certified displays on Poco X2 and Note 9 Pro and all of that, it still offers you better quality visuals in comparison to those LCD panels. So if you're someone who loves watching TV shows, movies, and you consume a lot of content on your phone, you'll really love the AMOLED display on the Galaxy M31. It's genuinely the best part about this phone, and no other phone beats the M31 when it comes to the display. Another thing that I liked here is that there are no wideband L1 issues here. All of the Samsung phones, be it their budget phone or their flagship phone, everyone comes with a proper wideband L1 support, and even on the M31, Netflix, Amazon Prime, everything's working in full HD, and I've not run into any issues. So this is a great phone for someone who consumes a lot of media, and like I said, nothing beats the display on the Galaxy M31. The display is the biggest selling point of this phone, and if only the display is important to you or you just want an AMOLED display, just go with the Galaxy M31. So that's the highlight of this phone. That's the best part that I loved on the M31. Now let's move on to the not so exciting parts of this phone, and we'll jump into the battery life. So the Samsung Galaxy M31 has the largest battery in this segment. It has a 6000 mAh of battery. So you guys would ask me, why am I calling it average? Because the thing is, it does not perform like a 6000 mAh of battery. You can easily get through one working day. If you are on a moderate usage, you can get through 1.5 working day. But that's what you can do on other phones with 4000 or 4500 mAh of battery. So if I compare my usage, I have used the Galaxy M31 for 2 days. Before that I was on the Realme 6. Before that I was on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So if I compare the usage on the Galaxy M31, I could get roughly around 7.5 to 8 hours of screen on time. On the Realme 6, I got around 7 hours of screen on time. On the Redmi Note 9 Pro, I got 11 hours of screen on time. And on the Realme 6 Pro, I got around 9 hours of screen on time. So that's the thing, the Exynos 9611 inside this phone is not very efficient. So in spite of having a 6000 mAh of battery, it's more or less equivalent to a Xiaomi or a Realme phone having 4500 mAh of battery. Realme 6 Pro and the Redmi Note 9 Pro, both of them have less batteries than the Galaxy M31, but they will still outlast them in a normal day-to-day usage scenario. I don't believe in battery draining tests because they don't give you a true scenario. In day-to-day usage, when you consider standby battery drain, idle battery drain and all of those things, the Snapdragon processors are a lot more efficient than the Exynos chips. Plus this phone takes at least 2.5 hours to charge, so that's another thing to consider. So I think the charging plus the battery life combo is decent. You will get good battery life on this phone, but it doesn't perform like a 6000 mAh of battery. So that's what I wanted to say. The Redmi Note 9 Pro and the Realme 6 Pro will outperform and will give you a longer battery life, even though they have smaller batteries in comparison to Samsung. So battery life is not bad, it's just that it's not as efficient as it should be. And that's the same thing that I can say about the cameras. So that's the major bump that you've got from the Galaxy M30s. The M30s had a 48 megapixel sensor, but here you've got a 64 megapixel quad camera setup. So you've got your primary lens, then you have a wide angle lens, then there's a depth sensor, and there's also macro lens. If I consider the photos in daylight, I loved the photos here. Samsung has done really good processing in the stock camera app. You see the dynamic range and all of those things, they are very good. Even if you put it against the Redmi Note 9 Pro, the Poco X2, Realme 6, it performs well, and in daylight I don't have any complaints with the photos. Even in indoor conditions it does well, but where this camera suffers is in low lighting conditions. First of all, the images are a little bit zoomed in comparison to your normal shots in low light. Plus the noise is too much, the detailing is not that great, and the fact that this phone does not support Google camera, you don't even get things like night sight and all of those. Almost every other phone in this price bracket, be it Realme 6 Pro, Poco X2, Redmi Note 8 Pro, Redmi Note 9 Pro, Pro Max, all of them support Google camera, and the performance improves drastically on those phones. But the same is not true on the Galaxy M31, and because of which the low light performance is not that great, and those phones will beat the Galaxy M31 when you can. But if you talk about selfies, once again here I have to say Samsung has done some very good processing. Especially when you take selfies in daylight, all of the other phones in their stock camera app overexpose the background, they don't do that good of a job. But the dynamic range on the selfies taken from the M31 is great. The color accuracy is a bit off, but I really loved the dynamic range and the processing that Samsung brings on the Galaxy M31. So it's a good camera. The only thing is it's not the best camera. Other phones will perform better, especially when you take photos in low light or something like that. You also have a wide angle lens here which performs decently well, and you also have the macro lens. The macro lens is okay. I don't think it's as good as the Poco X2 or the Redmi Note 9 Pro. You can get much closer with those phones, and the macro shots from them turn out to be really good. So when it comes to photos, it does a decent job. It's not the best, but I think on an average, if you don't click a lot of photos, you will still be happy with the cameras of the Galaxy M31. I was disappointed slightly in the video department because even though it does 4K video, the quality on the Poco X2 actually was better in comparison to the Galaxy M31. And this phone also doesn't let you take videos with the wide angle lens. It only does it if you go into the super steady mode. And there also I found the video to be a little bit grainy and not to be of that good quality. And also if we talk about the 4K video, the focusing was slow on the Galaxy M31 compared to something like the Poco X2. The Poco X2 focused much faster in comparison to the M31. So cameras once again are not the strongest point on this phone, they're just average. And the fact that this phone runs on Exynos processor, even Gcam won't work. So you don't have much hope in improving the camera performance of this phone further. Then I want to go to the least favorite part of the Galaxy M31, which is the performance. Samsung has used the same Exynos 9611 chipset that we had on the Galaxy M30s, the Galaxy A50s, and also the Galaxy A51. And if I talk about day-to-day performance, it's decent. The phone is able to handle almost everything that you throw at it. Memory management is good. Switching between apps and all of those things, opening apps, scrolling through them is good for the most part. There are instances where sometimes you feel that there is a slight lag or there is a slight stutter in frames and in animations and all of those things. But more or less the user experience has been good. It's not as good as Realme UI or MIUI. I feel those interfaces are more optimized than this one, but still One UI 2.1 on the Galaxy M31 does a good job. It's much better than previous Samsung devices, and in day-to-day usage you will not run into any problems on this phone. Also, One UI 2.1 is very feature rich and there are a lot of useful features here. You get so many things that you also get on MIUI and Realme UI, so you won't miss on any features. Plus a lot of people do lately like One UI 2.1, so I don't have any complaints with the user experience or the software. It's just that sometimes you'll feel that it's not as fast as the competitors. Although where you will feel the difference though is in terms of gaming performance, because PUBG on this phone is damn disappointing. Although it supports smooth plus extreme frame rate by default, the frame rate only stays in the 40s majority of the times, and there is this frame skipping or frame freezing problem on this phone where for a second the frame rate will completely drop to 20 or below that, or it's in the mid 20s, and you will see a lot of lags and stuttering in PUBG. I have done a detailed PUBG review of the A50s and the M30s, so you guys can watch that. The performance is very similar on the Galaxy M31. And you can also search on YouTube, you will find more interesting M31 PUBG gameplays also. But basically the point is, even you can see it right now, even in Evo ground games, this phone is not able to cross 40-45 FPS. So when it comes to actual squad games, it's even lower. I'm showing you a graph that I recorded while benchmarking this phone, and the PUBG performance is not great. Don't buy this phone for PUBG. You've got much better options in the same price bracket. Even Poco X2 and the Realme 6 Pro perform much better than the Galaxy M31. So for gaming, it's a complete no-no. The Exynos 9611 can handle your day-to-day usage, but I would not recommend this for gaming. The GPU is just not that powerful to handle that kind of a load. After that, let's talk about the build quality. And once again, here, it's one of the cheapest build quality that I've seen on a phone. Now the thing is, this phone has got a plastic back. I don't have any problems with it because a lot of phones in this price segment will still offer you a plastic back. But if you see the phones that Realme has made, like Realme 6 and all of those phones, they feel much more premium. They don't feel as fragile as the Galaxy M31. They just feel a lot more premium. Realme designs them well. And the M31 definitely feels cheap in comparison to the plastic phones made by Realme. Another thing is that this plastic back is very, prone to scratches. I've barely used this phone outdoors and still I have somehow managed to get a couple of scratches on the back plastic of this phone. So if you're planning to buy the Galaxy M31, please throw in a cover also because Samsung does not give you one inside the box. So build quality is definitely not my favorite here. Samsung would have clearly done a better job when it comes to the build quality of the Galaxy M31. Then if I talk about a couple of other things, the call quality, network reception, everything was good. No major complaints there. You've got dual SIM card support. You've got dual SIM support here plus an SD card slot. So in case you want to use two SIMs and a memory card, you can do that. The fingerprint sensor is located on the back and it's as fast and snappy as any other phone. The only thing is that it sits very flush with the back panel. So initially you might have some issues in locating it. But after you use it for a couple of days, you will be fine. The audio via the headphone jack is also decent on this phone. You get voice over Wi-Fi support. And you don't get any LED notification light here, but Samsung has this really nice always on display that you can customize according to your preference. You can have it on most of the time because this phone has an AMOLED display, so it doesn't consume a lot of battery even if the always on display is on. So then the question is, what should we do about the Galaxy M31? So now with the GST price hike, the Galaxy M31 starts at a price of 16,800 rupees. And I don't think that apart from the display, there is any other reason why you should be getting the Galaxy M31. If you remove the display out of the equation, you've got the Poco X2 that performs much better than the Galaxy M31. It has better camera. It has that really smooth 120Hz display. It charges faster. The battery life more or less is same as to what you'll get on the Galaxy M31. So all in all, I feel that for 17,000 rupees, the Poco X2 makes a lot of sense than the Galaxy M31. Even the Realme 6 Pro makes more sense than the M31. Realme 6 Pro is also a really good phone. The only reason I see that you want to buy the Galaxy M31 is because of that AMOLED display. That is the only reason why I would recommend you the M31. Apart from that, if we talk about cameras, battery life, performance, build quality, in all of those things you will have much better phones for the same price tag or even lower. So why buy the Galaxy M31? Even if you consider the Galaxy M30s, if you're ready to compromise with the performance a little bit, the M30s at a lower price tag is a better deal than the Galaxy M31. You've got same internals, you've got almost everything same apart from that 64 megapixel camera sensor. So yeah, I personally do not think that Galaxy M31 makes a lot of sense because even if you want that AMOLED display, you can always go with Realme XT or the Realme X2. Both of these phones offer an AMOLED display and they are some of the best value for money phones in this price bracket. So I would not recommend the Galaxy M31. If you're a Samsung fanboy, this might sound harsh, but this is my honest opinion. And if I was in the market with 17,000 rupees, I would not be putting my money on this phone. Samsung almost had a really good phone in their hands. If only they would have put in a Snapdragon processor, I'm damn sure it would have killed all of the competition at 17,000 rupees. It's just sad that they keep shoving the Exynos chipsets down our throats in India, even with their flagships. And that is why these phones are a deal breaker. So I would not recommend the Galaxy M31. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think about the M31? I would love to hear it. It's okay if you guys disagree with me. We can have a healthy discussion in the comments. I just told you my opinion and I stand by it. If you liked this video, then please like it. If you disliked it, then press the dislike button twice. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, press the bell icon, and I will catch up with you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.